Hello and welcome back to Fil-Am Family Adventures. We're going to do a little bit of a resort tour of the Cibola Vista Resort and Spa. This is in Peoria, Arizona on the northwest side of the Phoenix area. Here's a map of the property we're going to be looking at. They have a number of buildings and amenities and we're going to check it all out. When you drive in, this is what it looks like. You need to go to this parking area, and I'll show you in a minute the registration area on the left. But that's what it looks like when you first pull in. Across the street is the Bocce Ball building, Bocce Park, I guess I should say. And I didn't go over there, so I'm not really sure what's in that building, but this is the main entrance here. There's the sign. Cibola Vista Resort and Spa, and then this is where you need to go in when you drive in here. There is a small map of the property here when you come in, but not too many people seem to look at that. But this is where you want to park when you first come in the property for the registration area. Many times during the day these spaces are full, so if that's the case you just have to kind of drive around and find another space somewhere. But again, nice Southwest Arizona decorations and design here. Now on the left here is the actual registration building. And so when you first pull up and park, this is where you're going to want to go. I was here filming early in the morning, but on the left here, right inside that door, through those doors on the right is the desk for registration. And just right next to it here is the small fitness center. I was trying to see if anybody was in there because I wanted to take a quick look inside. I didn't see anybody. So I decided to go inside and check this place out. This is open 24 hours. Right upon entry, there's some weights on the left with some exercise balls, as well as some mats that you can put on the floor for stretching or whatever. They had a number of towels here, so you don't need to bring your own towel. More free weights, benches, one machine in the back, small TV, and several cardio options. Not that big, but probably adequate for most people's workouts. Again, be aware nobody under the age of 16 is allowed in here without an adult. They did have a little water machine there also. So it's a decent workout space for, again, probably most people. As you walk out here, you already see the desert landscape, a little bit of an open green area there. So I decided to walk around the whole property to give you an idea of what this place is all about here. Again, that's the chess. I never saw anybody playing the chess, but the chess, giant chess there, but it's here. And we're going to start by going over to this side because I first want to show you the adult pool area and then buildings 1 through 4. This is the cactus garden I'm looking at there. We'll come back there in a short while. In addition to the registration desk, registration area, there's a concierge area on the left. And you can get to the concierge area through the registration building as well. There you can get your wristbands for the pool and all sorts of other things at the concierge area. There's a little cafe over here. And on the left, I didn't go there at the time when it was open, so I'm not even sure what they serve there, but that's there on the property as well. So we're going to head over here. There's another entrance to the registration from the outside here in the back door. We're going to head over here to buildings 1 through 4, and in this first building here, on the 3rd floor, that's where the spa is located. I didn't go up there, and I'm not sure how it all works, but that's the location of the spa. There's an elevator to get you up there. I'm going to walk around back here. On the right will be the adult pool area. So if you want to be close to the adult pool, you want to be in buildings 1, 2, 3, or 4. There's a lot of vines going on here on the left over this wall. But as you go inside to the building area, they have these nice little courtyards. And so I really had thought that this fountain was pretty nice here. I wasn't really expecting to see many fountains here, but that was a nice touch. And then for most of these buildings, that they're grouped together, and there's only a single elevator bank, usually 1 or 2 elevators, for a whole series of buildings. So all 4 buildings here shared only 1 set of elevators, which I'm not really sure how that all works out for the property, but that's the way that they designed and built it. So that was the courtyard for buildings 1 through 4. I'm going to come back out here again. These are next to the adult pool. And they have those little places that you can rent there, I guess. The little cabanas. The adult pool actually opens earlier than the main pool area, but outside of the hours, again, I was here before it opened, it will not let you in or out. So there's no access to the pool areas when they are not open. This cabana, again, is a pretty large cabana. I don't know the reservation policies or how much they are, but that's what the cabanas are at the adult pool. Again, a pretty large space, and it looks like that they had possibly a cooler there as well. But the adult pool was significantly smaller than the other main pool. No outside food, alcohol, no glass. Again, you can't bring your own cooler inside these pool areas. I decided to step over here and kind of peek my camera over the wall to give you a better view. There is this, again, this little Franciscan cafe area on the right. There's some nicer seating areas here that are free for everybody, but that's the adult pool. Again, not big, but it looks like it's a much quieter pool to relax and or take a dip if you want something that's have a little bit more solitude there. Again, that's sort of the back end of the registration area. And now we're going to walk around and show you a little bit more of the property here. Another entrance again to the adult pool area here. Sort of see what it looks like there. Now I'm going to show you and take a quick walk around the cactus garden. They have a nice bench seating there. And this cactus garden had examples of many different species of cactus. For those of you that are not from Arizona or never been to Arizona, there are actually dozens and dozens of different types of cactus, and they had a lot of them on display here, so I was pretty impressed with their collection. They're all labeled, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're looking at, but again, most people, when they think of cactus, they think of this one right here, the saguaro cactus. That's a young one. They can live to be hundreds of years old. In fact, they don't even grow. You see them with arms. Usually the first arm doesn't come out until they're 75 years old. So there's the prickly pear cactus there. Again, a lot of different species of cactus, and it's fun to take a few minutes to just walk around the cactus garden and educate yourself on the wonders of the desert. They have a sports court here, which I'll be going into in a second as well. And the sports court had tennis, pickleball, and basketball. They also had this green space here that's open. I'm not really sure if they've ever used that for any activities or not, but it was kind of an open space that was nice. Many people were here in the mornings, and some people come here at night. During the Arizona desert, so you can't really be here during the day. It's going to be way too hot with 100 plus temperatures. But as you can see, they have the pickleball paddles, tennis rackets, as well as tennis balls and pickleball balls, pickleballs, I guess it is. Some members of our party did play some pickleball here in the late afternoon and evening before, as it started to cool down a little bit, and had a good time. But some people there were in the morning playing basketball. So apparently there's basketballs there as well. But there's looking back towards the entrance there with this sort of wide open green space there. This is a nice property to walk around. Again, I'm on a little bit of a gravel trail here. That building there is building 15. Way up there in the top in the corner, that's where my room was, in the corner. And then at the end of this video, I'll show you the view from my balcony. They had this gravel area here as well with these white Adirondack chairs that were set up. Apparently there's a fire pit in this area that they do a small fire with s'mores in the evening. I think that's over there in the distance. We didn't see it happening. Maybe they don't do it every night because maybe some of the warmer months, maybe it's too hot to do it. This is the back entrance to the main pool area. A little bench there on the right with a garbage bin. But this is the main pool area. They have a number of tables, round tables with chairs around them, loungers, water slide. I'm going to walk around the whole main pool area and show you from some different angles. This pool opens, I believe it was an hour or two later than the adult pool. Again, the adult pool was open much earlier in the morning than the main pool, which is called, actually it's called the Lagoon Pool. So we're going to walk back around. I want to walk all around the pool area to kind of show you what it looks like. Again, all over this property there are trees and desert plants. It's a really nice property to walk around, but again, in the Phoenix summers, it can get very hot here. 105, 110 in July and August, so just be aware of that. They did have some cabanas here, smaller ones. There's a hammock there. These cabanas just had a table with 4 chairs. I don't know if those were required reservations or not, but as you just saw there, there's also a small table tennis or ping pong table here on this side of the pool. There was a second ping pong table on the other side of the pool as well. I'll show you later. This big building on the left is the Preview Center. Again, this is a vacations club, timeshare property, and they had demonstrations and talks and timeshare sales, and most of you are familiar with how that whole process works. But they had a large building there just for that. Again, walking around the pool area. Desert plants and flowers everywhere. There's again, cabanas, loungers, tables. Now, one interesting thing this property had, which I'm showing you on the left, they had some sort of a turtle aquarium or turtle exhibit, if you will. And it said, please don't feed the turtle there. There's some water. Now, I never saw the turtle. There's a little house there. Maybe it was there inside that house, but I was really looking for it and I couldn't find it. I'll show you here in a second. So there's a little house there on the lower left, and maybe the turtle was in there. I'm not sure, taking a nap, but I never saw the turtle. So I'm not sure how big it was. But now this on the right, they have several areas that you can grill. This was by far the nicest one. They had 2 grills with a number of tables here. So if you wanted to bring some food, buy some food and grill, that's the place you want to do it because it was nice. Again, more of the larger cabanas on this side of the pool. It looked like that they had coolers. Now this here is the another group of buildings, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, some of the buildings were more kind of squarish buildings, and other buildings were more elongated or rectangle type buildings. These are the first group over by the adult pool were buildings 1 through 4, and these are buildings 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are the same types of buildings, the first 8 buildings in 2 groups of 4. But again, this one had 2 elevators. One elevator, I believe, for buildings 5, 5 and 7 and one for 6 and 8 or something like that. These buildings are all 3 or 4 floors, I believe, and the upper sections of these buildings sort of have walkways right there. It's sort of walkways in between the buildings on the upper floors. So if you needed to go to another building, you could just walk on the upper walkway. You didn't have to come all the way down the elevator and then go all the way back up. But yeah, there's elevators 5 and 6, and then elevators for buildings 7 and 8 are the ones that are connected. Although, as I walked over here, I was going to show you an elevator. This elevator is apparently out of order, so I'm assuming there is an elevator around the corner to take you up, even though the elevator's wrong. They had, as you just saw there, dispensers for hand sanitizer throughout, especially near the elevators. So as you walk out, that was buildings 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then this comes out back to the pool area. And there's buildings 9 and 11 there on the right. As another view of the lagoon pool area from this side here. Again, we've got stepped entry, loungers, water slide. This pool was a very free form pool. There was no lazy river, but there were plenty of places and small little round alcoves. It's kind of hard to describe because it's kind of an interesting shaped pool. So we're going to walk around here, and I'm walking next to building number 11 on the right, which is more of a longer rectangle-ish type of building. Again, nice desert flowers, orange and yellow all around this property. Here's a little bit better view of the water slide from this side. I never went down the water slide. I had some members of my party that did and said it was a good water slide. But be aware, the water slide is not always open. They only had certain hours, and it was not open at night. So if you do want to use the water slide, check the hours. But there's the ping pong table on this side of the property, and there's a little food truck there in the distance. And I didn't eat the food there, but it looked good. And so if you want a little snack, you can get it at their little food truck, and they have tables and chairs to eat there, and you can also play ping pong if you wanted. But so I'm going inside the courtyard here between buildings 9, 10, 11, and 12. They had this nice little faux bridge here. I'm not sure there's any water that ever comes there, unless maybe if it rains really hard or something like that. But these were nice buildings, and they had this nice courtyard in between the buildings. This is 9 and 11, and there's walkways at the end between the two buildings. But this was a nice place to sit and hang out in between these two buildings. And on the other side is the same thing. There's the luggage carts, buildings 9 and 11, the floors and the room numbers. And then again, the room numbers didn't seem to make a lot of sense to me, but you couldn't really tell, aside from looking at the sign, which rooms were on which floor. But here are buildings 10 and 12. And again, the nice little courtyard, tables, chairs, walkways on the upper levels, so you can connect. If you have parties that are in different buildings, you don't have to come all the way down and go all the way back up. But so going back over this little faux bridge here, grilling area here for these buildings. Even though the nicer areas on the other side, they do have grills throughout the property at several different places. And some of the units have grills, small little grills out on the balcony. They're not larger grills like the ones here. So if you needed something smaller to grill and you have a grill on your balcony, I mean, that's obviously going to be easier because it's right next to your kitchen. But if you have a lot of stuff to grill, you're going to have to come down to one of the grilling areas. On the left is a building for the pool room, and on the other side is, when I say pool room, it's like the apparatus to run the pool, like the technology and whatnot. But they did have a restrooms there as well in the pool area. You don't have to go all the way back to your room if you need to use the restroom. But so here's again a view of the lagoon pool, and there's the stairway to get up to the pool area. They had a cornhole and a large Connect 4. And then there's the food truck there on the left with the seating area. So Again, this is it's a nice property to hang out. The pool area is nicer. Those that are familiar, this is part of the Bluegreen Vacations Club. Again, I'm not affiliated with this at all. I just had a extended family member that had a contract and invited our family to go. And so we just came here and drove over and hung out for the weekend. Right there in the distance I'm showing you, that's building 13, and then there's building 14, and then on the left is building 15. So this is only a group of 3 buildings. So you have one group of 4 buildings, another group of 1 through 4, and then 5, 6, 7, and 8 grouped together. 9, 10, 11, and 12 are different shaped buildings. They're more longer. And then these are yet different shaped buildings. Building 13 is kind of small. 14 and 15 are a little bit larger. In front of these buildings, they have a nice seating area. We did see people hanging out here every now and then. And again, some signage, because again, you can't really tell from your room number which building you're in. It's not entirely clear, so you have to look at the signs to figure out which building you're in. I'm walking here over towards the elevator bank. There's one set of elevators for all 3 buildings, then you have to walk. There's a little fireplace with another small grilling area and table. I'm not really sure why you need a fireplace in Arizona. There's probably only a couple months out of the year you would ever really need that, but it's there. Again, more signage, and then that's building 15. I was at the very end at the top there. I'm sorry, in 3. Now we're going to take a little bit of a walk here. These are the elevators here, by the way. There's 2 elevators for buildings 13, 14, and 15. And they will take you up, and then you have to walk sort of an outside walkway to get to your room. I'll show you the walk to my room here in a little while. It wasn't really that short of a walk from the elevator to your room because I was at one of the farther rooms. Now, out here, there's building 14 on the left, building 15 on the right. Nice Palo Verde tree here. These are the trees with sort of the greenish trees, greenish bark and whatnot. Just want to show you, even the parking lot facing areas are nicely landscaped and decorated here. You see the nice stone fixtures. These are the balconies. There's patios on the lower areas seem to be about the same size as the balconies on the upper floors, so there wasn't necessarily a huge advantage to be on the lower level. It's not like you get a larger patio area. It seemed to be about the same size as the balconies that were on the upper floors. Again, another Palo Verde tree there, some palm trees. So even walking around here on the parking lot facing areas, it's still nicely decorated with the architecture here and whatnot. Again, this is one of the nicer Bluegreen vacation clubs that you can go to. It's one of the more popular ones. So here we're walking back towards the pool area here. And you can stroll around here. Again, more signage. And then back to the elevator area, which is way on the other side. I've just walked around all of building 14 there. You can kind of get an idea. That was looking at building 12, I believe. So again, back out to this seating area. And then in a second, I'm going to take you in the elevator. Well, actually not in the elevator, but from the elevator, and show you how it looks in the walk to my room. So this goes back straight there on the right to the elevator area. And so now I'm going to go up the elevator. And now I just got out of level 3. Here they have exterior stairwells to access all the floors of all of the buildings. And these are by the elevators. Now my room is way on the right at the very end of building 15. And so when you're up here, you can kind of see the signs. And then so back there is building 14 on the left. And this is building 15 here. Again, kind of a strange shaped building. That's back down to the grill area below. And I'm going to walk all the way to the end here. I'm on the 3rd floor. And I just want to show you this because for those of you that have a lot of things, luggage, coolers, backpacks. I mean, all this sort of stuff that you're bringing in to your vacation for the weekend or the week or however long you're staying here. If you're in one of these farther rooms, it's a long walk. Although you do get nice views from up here. I mean, there's a nice, desert mountain there in the distance. But it's a little bit of a trek to go back here. I was surprised how far the walk was from the elevator back to our room. And again, it's not a straight walk, as you can see. Somebody just left their luggage rack, the luggage cart here. Luggage carts are kind of strewn about the property. You have to try to find one if you need one. But so here I am finally at my room, which is the last room on the left. Then a nice little alcove here. Electrical room there on the right, and you can kind of see the parking lot from here. So I went into my room and just want to quick show you what it looks like from my balcony at the end here. So this is the balcony. That's the adult pool in the distance, and the sports court, the little area there with the chairs that they do the s'mores, and then I got a decent view of the pool. The smaller pool in the front was a large jacuzzi right there, and then I got a little bit of a view of the water slide and some of the other buildings on the property in the distance. So it was a nice view from our balcony. I do have a room tour video. You can take a look at it if you wanted to see what our room looked like. And then I went over to a better vantage point to show you the pool area here. And so that gives you a better idea of what the main pool area looks like with the fountains and the food truck. So that's the property. Again, you can see here from this view the buildings, and then under the map, again, you have 4 groups. The group of 4 buildings, 1 through 4 with the adult pool. The other 4 buildings, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which are sort of squarish buildings, and then the long buildings, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I was just there building 13, 14, 15 with the pool area, the sports court, and the registration area, and so on. So it's a great property, and if you're interested, check it out. Check out their website. Again, I'm not affiliated with Bluegreen Vacations Club or Cibola Vista Resort and Spa. I just was a guy who was just hanging out here and thought it was an interesting place. So there you have it. Check out our vacation video is coming up next to give you a little bit more detail of what we did on the weekend when we were here. So thanks for watching.